legacy of war. Years after the fall of Marius, Selene has vanished into the frozen edges of the world. The war between vampires and Lycans has settled into an uneasy ceasefire, but trust is scarce. Power struggles ripple through the vampire clans, and a new generation of leaders rise, ill-prepared for what's coming. Whispers of an ancient evil begin to resurface among the oldest archives of both species, a hidden awakening. Far beneath the melting Arctic, a cryptic tomb breaks free from permafrost, releasing a monstrous being sealed away since the dawn of time, Orcus. Older than Victor, Marcus, or even Alexander Corvinus, Orcus was the first to reject balance and seek total domination. His return begins to influence bloodlines telepathically, especially among the more violent pure-blood vampires. His first kill is an entire Arctic research station. The Council fractures. The Vampire High Council, now fragmented between progressive thinkers and purist extremists, debates the threat of Orcus. Some dismiss the legend as myth, others believe a reckoning is coming. A desperate plea is issued. Find Selene, the death dealer who has defied every generation. Meanwhile, rogue factions begin attacking isolated Lycan dens, restarting the bloodshed. The huntress returns. Selene is found living alone in the Himalayas, far removed from the chaos. A tracker sent by David begs her to return, revealing the name Orcus. She's haunted by dreams of a red eclipse and shadowy beasts consuming the world. Despite her reluctance, Selene senses the gravity of this threat and prepares to re-enter the war she left behind. Shadows of the First Blood. Selene reunites with David and learns the horrifying truth. Orcus predates all known immortals. The creature's blood is pure corruption. His very presence destabilizes both vampire and Lycan genetics. Some vampires begin transforming into uncontrollable primal forms. Selene realizes Orcus isn't just a threat, he's a virus at the root of their shared history. Allies and traitors. David brings news of a powerful Lycan named Ava, a descendant of Lucian, who has built a sanctuary for hybrids and peaceful Lycans. Selene meets Ava, and despite a cold welcome, they recognize the need for unity. But not all are on board. Inside both species, loyalists to Orcus begin emerging, spreading fear and betrayal. A vampire elder betrays them, assassinating a Lycan elder, Eclipse prophecy. A centuries-old prophecy is unearthed in the tombs of an ancient monastery. A rare celestial event called the Blood Eclipse will amplify the power of the first immortal, allowing him to rewrite evolution. On the night of the eclipse, Orcus plans to drain the corrupted bloodlines and replace them with his pure seed. Time is short, and the eclipse is only weeks away. The gathering storm. Vampire extremists, believing Orcus offers salvation, launch surprise assaults on key Lycan havens. Meanwhile, Orcus constructs a subterranean citadel in Eastern Europe from which to initiate the eclipse ritual. He calls forth beasts and followers, twisted, mutated versions of vampires and Lycans loyal only to him. Selene struggles to maintain fragile diplomacy as war spreads like wildfire. Forbidden archives. To find a weakness, Selene, Ava, and David infiltrate a vampire monastery built by Amelia centuries ago. There, hidden beneath the altar, they discover ancient records about Eve, Selene's daughter. Eve's blood, born of both bloodlines and corrupted no further, is the one element that can negate Orcus's influence. But she's been in hiding since the fall of Marius. Eve's whereabouts. Selene sends out a psychic call through the Corvinus link. In South America, Eve, now an adult and dangerously powerful, responds. She's hesitant to return, having seen visions of herself destroying everything. But Orcus's minions have also found her trail, and a high-stakes chase begins. Selene and Ava arrive just in time to fend off the attack and rescue her. Bloodbound. Eve rejoins the group and reveals she's been having nightmares of the eclipse, ones in which she becomes a weapon of genocide. Her blood is evolving into something no one understands, vampire, Lycan, and something far older. Despite her fears, she agrees to help. She and Selene share an emotional reunion, bonding over their shared pain and purpose. Rise of the primordial Orcus makes a dramatic appearance, slaughtering the remaining members of the Vampire Council with a single wave of corrupted blood magic. His form is monstrous, pale skin like marble, 6 black wings, and void-like eyes. He declares that the age of hybrids and false immortals is over. The blood eclipse will cleanse the world. Fear spreads across the globe. Divided loyalties. Dozens of vampires and Lycans turn traitor, joining Orcus's cult of purity in exchange for restoration. A civil war erupts in vampire cities. Selene and Ava argue over how to respond. Ava wants to evacuate their allies, but Selene knows they must strike fast. One of David's closest lieutenants is exposed as a traitor and nearly kills him in a brutal ambush. Escape through ruin. After barely surviving a surprise siege on their base, Selene's team retreats into a network of catacombs beneath Prague. David is gravely injured, and the team begins to fracture emotionally. Tensions rise between Eve and Ava over what Eve's role should be in the final confrontation. In the depths, they find an old laboratory that once belonged to Alexander Corvinus. Final preparation. Selene and Eve train together, both physically and mentally, to attune their powers. Ava rallies the Lycan pack still loyal to peace. They forge experimental weapons from the Corvinus lab, silver carbon flechettes, blood disruptors, and new hybrid serums. Eve accepts her role. She must stop Orcus, even if it means dying. Eclipse begins. The blood eclipse begins, casting the moon in crimson light. Orcus begins his ritual, drawing power from corrupted bloodlines across the planet. Cities begin to collapse into chaos as vampires and Lycans suffer spontaneous mutations. Selene, Eve, Ava, and their remaining forces launch a full assault on Orcus's citadel, facing waves of twisted, blood-mutant horrors. The Citadel War. The final battle erupts at the foot of Orcus's massive obsidian citadel. David, mortally wounded, stays behind to detonate the outer wall, letting the team break through. Inside, Selene slashes her way to the altar chamber while Ava holds the gates. Thousands die in the crossfire as Orcus's ritual nears completion. Blood versus blood. Inside the temple, Selene faces Orcus in a brutal primal duel. She's nearly killed, but Eve intervenes. Her blood reacts violently with the ritual magic corrupting it. The clash of their bloodlines creates a shockwave that begins tearing the citadel apart. Orcus's form begins to disintegrate, but he clings to life through raw willpower, redemption and sacrifice. To finish Orcus once and for all, Selene merges her blood with Eve's and impales herself into Orcus's heart, forcing the corrupted power back into the Eclipse. Both are engulfed in a blinding explosion of energy. Orcus is destroyed, but Selene is gone. Her body consumed, her soul finally at peace after centuries of war. A new dawn. The eclipse fades. Vampires and Lycans feel a strange sense of clarity as the corruption lifts. Eve, now bearing white streaks in her hair like Selene, honors her mother's memory by pledging peace. Ava leads the Lycans, and together they rebuild. The war is over for now, but Eve's evolving blood hints that the Underworld story may never truly end.